I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsycHack's Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is the coin of the realm. By now, many of you have had a chance to check out my book, The Value of Others. For those of you who have, thank you for taking a chance on it. As you know, the book is book-ended by two parables, the prologue and the epilogue. Since a number of people have recently asked me about the story in the epilogue, I thought I would discuss it with you today. Now, I'm not going to give everything to you on a silver platter. After all, what would be the point in using a parable if I did that? The beauty of parables is that they can mean many things, that they possess depths of comprehensibility that can be true on multiple levels simultaneously. Today, I'm going to offer one possible interpretation of that parable that might help illuminate some of the contents of the book. It's not the highest interpretation, but it's a useful interpretation nonetheless. So the parable at the end of the book is called The Coin of Caesar, which describes an episode from the life of Jesus. A group of Pharisees approach Jesus in the marketplace, and they start complaining to him about the necessity of paying taxes. Isn't it unfair? Isn't it unjust? We shouldn't have to suffer this indignity. Is it not a form of idol worship? Etc. Now, Jesus doesn't go in for any of this thinking, and he asks the group, "How do you pay your taxes?" And they answer him, "With this coin." And Jesus says, "Let me see the coin." When they hand it to him, he asks, "Whose face is on this coin?" The Pharisees answer, "Caesar's." So Jesus replies, "This is Caesar's coin. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is God's." So that's the parable. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of different ways we could interpret it. However, in the context of intersexual dynamics, I think it provides a lesson on how men and women can have more happy and fulfilling relationships with each other. Namely, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. There are certain things that men want. We can call those men's coins. You can even imagine that they have pictures of men on them. That's what men want. They want to be paid in their currency. On the other hand, there are certain things that women want. We can call those women's coins. You can even imagine that they have pictures of women on them. That's what women want. They want to be paid in their currency. Men need to pay women in women's currency, and women need to pay men in men's currency. And this doesn't often happen, and it often doesn't happen for a variety of reasons. Most commonly, it doesn't happen because at least one party doesn't have what the other party wants. Men don't have or don't have enough of what women want, and women don't have or don't have enough of what men want. And you have to first have something before you can give it to somebody else. So that's the first reason. Men need to cultivate more of what women want and vice versa. Now, it can happen that one party does, in fact, have what the other party wants. However, this can still cause problems if this person believes that he or she shouldn't have to pay. These people are Pharisees in the marketplace, and they have all kinds of different arguments to rationalize their stinginess. I shouldn't have to pay. That's degrading and beneath me. I should be able to pay in my own way. What I pay should be enough. If you really loved me, you wouldn't make me pay. It's greedy and abusive that you expect payment, etc., etc., etc. All of these arguments are bullshit. Like, can you imagine if someone tried to use those arguments in a court of law if they were hauled in for the non-payment of income tax? Your Honor, I shouldn't have to pay taxes. It's degrading. And I believe I should be an exception. In any case, you ask too much. If I did have to pay, I think I should only pay this much, and I should be able to pay in other ways besides money. Wouldn't you think that just being in my presence is enough of a payment? If the government really cared about me, it wouldn't make me pay taxes. Don't be mean and greedy and selfish. That would never work. The material world runs on power and value. And there is nothing wrong with circulating the currency of the material world in your dealings with it. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. If anything, you will run into trouble if, for whatever reason, you refuse to circulate the currency of the material world in your dealings with it. And it is for Caesar, not you, to decide when he would like to be paid and how he would like to be paid and how much he would like to be paid. And he gets to decide those things not because he's better or more virtuous or more enlightened. He gets to decide those things because he is more powerful. It is what it is. If you appreciate the insights on this channel, I would highly encourage you to get your hands on a copy of my book, The Value of Others. Over the course of 432 pages, I delve deep into my economic model of relationships and explain the behavior of both men and women in the game of mating and dating. I also provide a lot of actionable advice on how to get and keep more of what you want in the sexual marketplace. Once you read The Value of Others, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Now available in ebook, audiobook, and paperback formats. The links are in the description. To have successful relationships, men need to give women what women want, and women need to give men what men want. Let's make this more concrete with a simple but very commonplace example, namely the texting behaviors of men and women. I actually spoke about this a bit in my first discussion with James Sexton on Soft White Underbelly. There are big differences in how men and women use texts to flirt. How do men flirt over text? They send women dick pics. Most women do not want dick pics, so why are men sending these texts? Because men want nudes from women. They think, this is the coin I want, so it must be a valuable coin, so I will give something of value to get something of value. But my dudes, these texts are not women's coin. They do not have pictures of women on them. That is not the currency in which they want to be paid. On the other hand, how do women flirt? They send pictures of the most inane and irrelevant bullshit. Here's the sandwich I ate for lunch. Here's a cloud that looks like a peanut. Here's a picture of my shoes. Men couldn't care less about any of that. So why are women sending men these texts? Because women want affection from men. They want him to think of her when she's not around, and to share the little moments of his life with her, and to stay connected with her. They think, this is the coin I want, so it must be a valuable coin. So I will give something of value to get something of value. But my ladies, these texts are not men's coin. They do not have pictures of men on them. These are not the currency in which men want to be paid. If you want your relationship to be smooth and satisfying, pay the other person in their currency. Men, give your women affection. Sometimes I hear men complain that their women left them for some broke loser. Like, how do you make sense of that, Orion? Is she just crazy and irrational? Doesn't that mean your economic model is flawed? Maybe. Or maybe, I don't know, he was able to engage her emotions and cultivate a connection with her while they were relying on attraction proxies like money to do that for them? Pay women in their coin. On the other hand, women, send your men nudes. Sometimes I hear women complain that men only seem to want them for sex. Isn't that toxic and unhealthy? Shouldn't he want to know and care about her hopes and dreams and personalities? Maybe. Or maybe, I don't know, he's a man and he wants to look at titties. That seems pretty normal and healthy to me. If he's a straight man, he's going to want to look at titties. Looking at titties is probably going to be the best thing that happens to him today. And given the unprecedented availability of titties in the modern age, we can also pretty much assume that he's going to be looking at titties today. The only question, ladies, is do you want them to be your titties? Do you want to be the best part of his day today? Or do you want some other woman to play that role in his life? The choice is yours. But I guarantee titties are going to be on the menu one way or the other. Pay men in their coin. Now, men often dislike offering women that kind of affection, but they'll do it, especially if you tell them that it works. However, women have all kinds of reasons why they shouldn't have to send nudes, and they often won't do it, even if it will get them what they want. So let's briefly discuss what might be the most reasonable objection to this piece of advice, namely, this goes against my values, Orion. I have a legitimate religious or moral exception to that kind of behavior, and I would like that to be respected. Now, if that's the case, I would respond, absolutely. That is your right. You don't have to do anything that violates your religious or moral sensibilities. That said, you also can't reasonably expect to therefore dictate what currency the other person should be willing to accept, as that would be tantamount to imposing your religion or morality on others. Very likely, you will need to contract your relationships in those circumscribed locations that accept your localized currency. Like, if you want commitment to precede sex, then you probably need to date in your church or your mosque, because that is where that currency is accepted. But that is not the coin of the realm. You can't walk into French Laundry and try to pay for your dinner with Disney dollars or a hug and a smile. That's not going to work. If you want to enjoy a dinner at French Laundry, you have to give French Laundry what French Laundry wants, which is USD. Complaining that they don't accept rubles or bushels of apples or American Express is irrelevant. That's not for you to decide. It's for the other party to decide how they want to be paid. So, what happens when men and women don't pay each other in the proper currency? At the heart of pretty much all relationship dysfunction is a single belief. And that belief, which exists in at least one of the parties' minds, is that I am overpaying. I am giving and giving and giving, and I'm not getting what I want in return. And this belief gives rise to all the different kinds of expressions of dissatisfaction: emotional withdrawal, resentfulness, disparagement, conflict, infidelity, etc., etc. It's not complicated. If you want to have smooth, satisfying relationships, give the other party what they want. Men should not give women what men want to receive. Men need to give women what women want to receive. Women should not give men what women want to receive. Women need to give men what men want to receive. This is functionally how we do business with each other, and it is good and appropriate to do this. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And please send this episode to someone who you think might benefit from its message, as it's word-of-mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow. Anyone looking to join my free weekly newsletter or book a paid consultation can also do so on my website. The links to everything are in the description below. As always, I appreciate your support, and thank you for listening.